So Caresha Please season 2 finally dropped and I just watched it, which if you ask me, the timing of the drop is strange, but we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about the actual show if y'all watched it. Because yes, I tuned in because I wanted to know what she was going to say about Diddy, and Saucy Santana was interviewing Carisha, so I figured that it would be pretty entertaining because Saucy Santana is funny, which he did not disappoint with his interview skills. It was very short and sweet, which I liked. It was like a little bit over 30 minutes, but they did touch on all the topics that's current and that people probably wanted to personally ask her over the past few months. But she was kind of unaccessible because of, I'm assuming, everything that was going on. But let's get into what she talked about, because if you ask me, I definitely think that this was a media trained interview, because a lot of the answers to the questions that Saucy asked her gave PR response, but she did end up spilling a little bit of tea in regards to the City Girls, which they have finally came out and said that they're no longer a group, which if you paid attention to any of their press runs, especially with their last album, you could tell that there was a different vibe between them. Like, you could tell that they weren't really cool with each other. They weren't in sync. They weren't really feeling each other. And Carisha let it be known that it is beef, but it ain't at the same time. She claims she has no beef with JT, but at the same time, JT has a project out right now, which her solo album I think is really good, and it's better than anything that the City Girls ever put out as a duo. But another story for another day. If there was no beef, I feel like she would have at least shouted out her album, or said, told the viewers to stream her album. But she didn't do any of that. She basically just discussed the little situation that they went through on Twitter, and she claims that she doesn't know what went wrong between their friendship, and that they basically grew up together, and that she'll always, I guess, have love for her or whatever. But the reason why I think that's a lie is because when you've been friends with somebody for so long, you can always identify when you stop speaking to somebody, the exact turning point in your relationship with that person. So I think she gave PR statements in regards to that. But something that I definitely noticed that she shied away from was answering any questions directly in regards to Diddy, because Saucy Santana distinctly asked her, did Diddy beat you down? And she didn't, well, he didn't say those exact words, but he asked her, did she have any of those experiences with Diddy? And she did not answer the question. I don't know if anybody picked up on that, but she definitely didn't give a clear answer. Like, that man never put his hands on me. We've never experienced, any type of physical altercations with each other or any of that. She just stated that she's been in 2 abusive relationships, and that she, doesn't want to have that experience, or she doesn't really want her daughter to see her going through that type of experience. So I don't know what to say about that, or what to make about what she said or had to say about Diddy. But I do know that she had a little bit more smoke for JT than she did for Diddy. And Diddy is the reason why she's currently in a hot seat. So I feel like she definitely should have dragged him a little bit more, because that could have possibly cleared her name and, made her look a little more like a victim of his shenanigans as well. But she didn't do that. She kind of also kind of makes claims that she wasn't there with Diddy for the lifestyle, that she was more so there to have the mentorship experience with him. And I guess they end up falling in love somehow, allegedly. I don't know. She claimed that them two were in love, but who knows? Because you know how these men are. they will trick you into believing something that's really actually not happening. So that's probably a question we'll never get the answer to either, because y'all know these older acts link on to the younger acts just to stay relevant along the younger, viewers, and to tap into their audience as well as the older audience. So you just never know when it comes to the entertainment business if relationships are real or fake. But I don't know. What did y'all think about this episode? And do y'all think that Caresha specifically dropped her Caresha Please to take the spotlight off of JT? Because JT was having her moment a little bit right now. Like, all the little TikTok people is pushing her music for her. She's been doing her press runs, and I feel like JT is the one that chills. Like, she seems a lot more laid back than Caresha, but Caresha, to me, she kind of comes off as sneaky. But we gonna see what ends up happening, because I think this is going to turn out to be a public disaster for the city girls, because I think one of them is going to get mad enough to tell the real tea at some point. And it's probably going to end up being JT. And also, do y'all think that Young Miami is going to have the ability to detach her name from Diddy's? Because nothing has really been done to clear her name.